It's time.
Somebody had a good weekend.
Yeah, you sure did.
Man, look at that guy.
Look at that guy.
First time for everything.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you don't put any money on anything.
And then the one thing that we
our
all
thumbnail did. Well, I don't clearly you haven't had a chance to see it.
Hit all of my locks. Gosh, the guy.
Coming out of the gate.
You should have just
Too bad he-
imagine if you would have
It's only
parlayed
downhill
that.
from here.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Imagine if you would have parlayed that.
Yeah.
Probably would have been like 1,200.
Yep, probably wouldn't have hit.
Probably. That's our thumbnail.
That is completely fair.
Oh man. I mean,
Well,
We're going
that's
live.
the thing is we tried to talk about the round robin too.
yeah. You guys, I'm doing the same face as the guy from Iowa. And I know we'll get into the rest of the recap, but how much of that game did you watch?
Every snap.
I watched probably 90% of the snaps.
I wouldn't have, except for I was at my cousin's house, who is an avid Iowa fan, so we weren't turning the channel.
I was with my brother-in-law.
She's also an avid Petrus hater, so watching from that
same.
perspective is
It was
like,
awesome.
Like I was the positive influence in the room, as much as that could be a thing.
He can throw over the middle.
She also called a 5-3 victory after the first punt that pinned them deep.
Oh, before their field goal.
Before they got the safety. And obviously before they got the second safety. She's like, we're going to win this game 5-3. I'm going to be so pissed, is what she said. And then they get the safety 3 plays later, and then they get another safety. So, like, she was them not getting another safety away from, like, a really bad, good call.
Good call.
Realistically, okay, a stat line, I would love to see a stat line of a team that gets 2 safeties in a game, what their actual score averages out to be, because I don't think a 7 is probably pretty high up there.
It's probably much
Also, the
higher.
winning percentage of a team that gets 2 safeties has to be in the 90 percentile.
Yeah, it's got to be.
At least.
But only
like,
one, not necessarily.
You guys, their defense, first of all, everyone keeps saying the defense scored more than the offense. The defense actually set them up for all 7 points.
Right.
Because it was a shanked punt that they were pinned deep. So really the offense did nothing.
Well, they fumbled inside the 5, and they missed another field goal.
Yes.
Not that their defense
they
didn't set all of
fumbled
those things
inside.
up, but
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
if Iowa plays that game again, they score 17 to 24 points.
correct.
Like everything that possibly could have gone wrong, including even Petrus couldn't make that many bad throws that many times. Like they had a touchdown on the screen pass that he just biffed. They had
Which was
a ball inside the 20 to on a flag route that he just threw out of bounds. And I mean, just all of those plays. Like he's just not going to miss them going into Iowa State. Like he'll probably make 3 throws against Iowa State that you're just like, oh my God, how did he make that throw? That's amazing. And they'll win by a field goal or something like that. But like, that's just Petrus 101 right there.
Petri dish did what he thought I knew he would do.
Did what everyone expected him
what
to
everyone
do,
did.
which is
Actually worse.
Super unfortunate.
He
for
couldn't
him.
hit anything outside the hash.
He couldn't hit anything anywhere.
At the middle, he had a couple of good seam throws.
But he also had a couple of bad seam throws.
I know, but I'm saying good. Let's stick to the positive.
He was a 1.1 QBR.
So you're saying that's good. Why wouldn't you bring in your backup Padilla just to wrinkle it up for a couple of plays?
Here's all I know is that I've watched a lot of football games, and I watch from a very, very coach-based analytical perspective, especially with Iowa State.
Absolutely.
I don't have a dog in the fight, but I like to dog each team. It is very hard, like, because fanatical fans, i.e. my cousin, are always going to just, live and die by the moment and everything like that. And just, they're always watching from rose-colored glass or Petrus-colored.
Me with Kirk Cousins.
Whatever Petrus-colored glass is.
Kirk Cousins guy over here.
I mean, you understand.
Yeah.
100%. But when you go back and look at the tape, like, I personally, at 36 years old, 50 pounds overweight, could have gone out onto that field on Saturday and gotten a 1.1 QBR.
Absolutely.
And I can't say that you two, who haven't played quarterback since high school,
2012,
right,
8th grade,
in 8th grade, could have also gotten a 1.1 QBR without, even if you, and you get 1 interception. So like
one
at any
freebie?
point, as long as they don't return that interception for a touchdown,
You
would have performed. And watching his mechanics and the throws that he's missing, no, like I can honestly say I could have done that. And I could have handed the ball off like he did, and I could have thrown at least the throws that he did.
You're not wrong.
And that is like where, when I was like, they have to do something, because I'm going to defend the quarterback against most fanatics in the fact that, hey, because a lot of times Iowa's receivers just aren't open.
Correct.
Or O-line misses a block, whatever. Those things happen. Norton, also, I don't want to take those hits, so I'm not going out there, but just saying.
It's not happening.
But when he had time, he missed guys miserably bad. When he didn't have time, he missed them worse. And he looks like he has no control over the offense. He doesn't have an audible. Whatever the play called is, he's just running it. And it's like, man, you would not know that this guy is a 3-year starter and a West Division champion. Yeah. Like, they won the West last year,
That's
guys.
what I talked to my brother-in-law about this because he hates Ferentz as OC as well. And I said, yes, it's very vanilla. So clearly, South Dakota State basically loaded the box and said, Pete just beat us, and he couldn't. That was the issue. But the bigger issue I was saying is, with him at quarterback, your playbook's smaller. Mm-hmm. He can't throw outside the hash. If he can't throw outside the hash,
but he's got a strong arm.
But he has the ability to.
And
do
according
so. He
to
cannot do it.
Kirk, he plays well in practice.
Hey, we're talking about
now
practice.
we're talking about practice.
About practice?
He said that twice in his post-game interview, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Like, you can't go back and watch film Saturday or Sunday morning
and say
he
did well in practice
and back up that quarterback.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm sorry. It's been too many times that you've not gone to Padilla, or go to the next guy.
I don't care, but they. I
don't even know who the next guy is, but
that offense needs some fresh air.
Yep.
A lot of it, because Petri dish is not it. But Iowa State got off to a little slow start. Overall, they looked like they should.
Took care of business.
I mean, you had a new quarterback.
That guy can sling it around the yard.
Get him in Vail, and then they took off from there. So this weekend, we'll get to it later, but will be should be, in my eyes, different than what the money says currently. But we'll get there. What else? What else we got?
We got a rundown.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our 5 games that we went through. Overall, good week for us.
Yeah.
Almost 70% of our picks, 68.89. Stoy and I both went 10-5. Cole went 11-4. On our locks down at the bottom, Cole coming in hot. Our first Goon lock of the year in Nevada, we hammered.
Just saying, new year, new us.
That's not.
Amen.
New week,
new week, new me.
Cole coming in. I think the most impressive part is coming in hot with a Rutgers over Boston College right away. He was pissed that he didn't get West Virginia, and then he chooses a different team, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll just win with this team."
Did you guys see how that game started?
No. Rutgers, BC.
Yeah. So Rutgers played 3 quarterbacks in their first 3 snaps. They ran a tight end direct snap, then they had their starting quarterback hand the ball off, and then a different quarterback came in on 3rd down and threw an incompletion. They went 3 and out with 3 different quarterbacks. I was like, this is not good.
This is not going to start well. I mean, wow.
So if you're Boston College, you lost that game. Just so you're wondering.
Just based on that.
If you're betting against Boston College the rest of the year,
you lost a Stoy's flag football team. Yeah. Everybody's got to play quarterback. Yep. I ended up going 2-2 down on those lock picks, and Stoy went 3-1. So again, overall, just a solid week. Our big parlay, gut wrenching. Gut wrenching.
The closest we've ever been.
We had 25 legs in this parlay, and we were like, okay, we're going to go with teams that we're confident in. I think the lowest might have been UNC App State we put in there. We boosted it a little bit with those guys. Mm-hmm. UNC, that game was incredible, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But Virginia Tech, Old Dominion. That is Old Dominion's 2nd win against a Power 5 school. And
guys,
I think it's the history of football.
They've only had football for 10 years.
And then Vautech was the same one.
In 2011, they didn't have a football program.
And then Taylor Heineke is an Old Dominion guy.
Well, that's fine, but Virginia Tech is a staple.
Oh yeah,
in college football.
Yeah, I mean, what?
one of the coolest.
they haven't been relevant,
I
but
get it.
yes.
At this point, they're getting relegated, but
Yeah. Good
But
night.
we're about to start that. I think,
just
at
don't-
the college football
I'm down.
level.
What's
Relegation.
relegation.
So they threw 4 interceptions. They were up basically all game. Threw 4 interceptions, 2 on their last 2 drives, where then
It was bad.
Old Dominion comes out and scores 10 on those.
Yeah.
It was.
Just
And
frustrating.
then they got robbed afterwards,
Yeah. Absolutely.
which
Absolutely.
I mean this tongue in cheek, but they kind of deserved it.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be in that position,
Right.
right? Is what they say.
If you would have won, you would have got robbed.
Yeah. Let's recap the college, and then we'll go to break. After break, we've got some fun clips and things to discuss, and then we'll, depending on time and news on that, we'll go into college football again, week 2. Got some big ones, some fun ones.
Yep.
Take another break, and then it's NFL, baby.
Yes.
Then
I'll
it
go.
is NFL
I'll go kind
season.
of quick through our games themselves. Notre Dame, Ohio State, 2-5. Ohio State comes out with a 21-10 victory.
What did you think of that game?
Just kind of
What
boring.
did you take away from it?
It was
Boring.
boring.
Trout's demeanor was kind of bad.
Yeah, but it didn't surprise me because I saw that from him last year.
Yeah.
Everybody anticipated growth. We didn't see it in week 1. That doesn't mean it's not there. That doesn't
Right.
mean the potential for it isn't there. I also thought Ohio State was very Iowa on offense.
Yeah.
From
Oh, my Lord.
play calling
Except
perspective.
for from shotgun and
And
stuff like that.
a
But
lot
like,
of people are saying Smith and Jigba, whatever. I can't remember
The
exactly how to pronounce his
receivers.
name, but he went down first quarter right away. Got kind of folded up. It didn't look comfortable. Tried to come back, couldn't do it, but that didn't matter because they had that Egbuka guy that had like 117 yards receiving and 1 or 2 touchdowns. Like they have weapons more than just one person. Your whole offense doesn't just change just because of that guy. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. crushed it in last year's Rose Bowl and had like 2 or 3 catches was it in this game.
he had a big drop too. I would agree from the offense perspective. Now I think Notre Dame's defense, one, it's probably the best they're going to see for a little while. And they had all offseason to plan. So we have to put that in perspective. However, the play calling was vanilla, in my opinion, as well. Now, defensively, Ohio State got better from last year.
Oh, yeah.
And it
I
was
think that was probably the
evident.
biggest surprise.
They got a new coordinator, right? Defensive
But
coordinator, I believe.
I didn't know a lot about Notre Dame's offense coming in, so I didn't have a high expectation
I guess I
for them.
was more so looking at the execution on the defensive side, flying around and just being fast and playing fast.
Right.
They played fast. I remember telling you guys that they just played fast and organized, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you do that, you're more likely going to.
But I think Ohio State in general, they have a better luck against those sluggish,
yeah,
dare I call it, Wisconsin, Notre Dame type of teams than they have. Like that's why Purdue gives them fits, is because Purdue gets them on their heels.
Yeah.
And they can't be as physical. And yes, they're athletic, but for the most part, like it takes more discipline. And I think that's where they get caught most of the time is on the discipline side, not on the physicality side.
Agreed.
Because they obviously have freak athletes.
Agreed.
I mean, Notre Dame definitely controlled, like when Ohio State was struggling right away and struggling hard, Notre Dame was winning off the ball on the line every single play.
But it didn't, like you've got to make something of that in order to put a little,
I
never
agree.
put any pressure, game pressure on Ohio State just because they couldn't do anything to build momentum from being more physical.
Correct.
Which was the disappointing part, I think.
Yeah.
And again, I think some of that was also conservative play calling. I think they were protecting their quarterback. I heard announcers say some things to that attune, and then I watched a few plays, and it just seemed like they weren't putting him in, those risk
Buckner?
reward
Is
situations.
that their new quarterback?
I don't know.
Tyler Buckner, I think is his name.
Sounds right.
It was definitely interesting.
And then we move on to number 3, Georgia versus
Georgia.
number 11, Oregon, in just a piss pounding.
Yes.
49-3.
You guys?
The game's the fact that it stayed under
Really
when
upsetting.
Georgia scores 49 points is
Oregon,
incredible.
you couldn't score touchdown? Really?
No, but like that's why I went under in this game.
I know, but like
And Bo Nix was.
I definitely
Bo
didn't
Nix.
see. He's 0-4
he was
against
be-
Georgia.
Yeah, but he was
played
better,
Bo Nix
he
in
was
Auburn.
better at Auburn
Yeah.
against Georgia than he was at Oregon.
I didn't.
that was a
I honestly didn't see Georgia scoring 49 points, but I didn't.
7 straight possessions.
But I also definitely didn't see Oregon only scoring.
Stetson Bennett
30.
gets no respect, by the way.
Did you that play? I wish we would have had that clip. That play
Where he just shucks the guy, spin moves, and then just,
throws it to the wide open guy that
which is, I mean, that's easy.
Petri
But
Dish couldn't do,
Oh.
or the clip we have later couldn't do. So it's not easy.
how are the 2 tight ends that he gets to throw to?
Those guys are huge.
6'7" to
260.
Oh my, that
And the
just-
other guy's 6'5", 250.
I actually have
They're
that clip,
scary.
I
And
believe.
he's a higher ranked prospect than
Those
the guy
dudes
that
are
was
so-
dragging people down the field.
those dudes are scary.
Oh my lord! Could you imagine having those as outlets?
Yeah, right.
Like,
oh, just throw to that machine. Throw to that machine over there. And
good
see
luck
what-
tackling.
I mean, I'll just give a plug.
that corner had zero.
Quick plug. Georgia Tech's got that like 6'7" receiver that
Mhm.
during that game, I think it was number 1. I'm not sure the last name for Clemson. Corner. It was a corner out. He catches it over this guy, and he just throws his hands up like, what am I supposed to do?
right.
Because my forehead doesn't even go to the letters on his
right.
chest.
You just pray.
Oh, it was
I
hilarious.
was in great position.
I think the most interesting thing after that game, because it was debacle, was where is Oregon sitting now in the standings?
Oh, they dropped completely out. They
did?
dropped out of the top 25.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Well, I mean, you get beat 49-3. I don't care who it's against. Like,
And we'll talk about that because I do have
that's
some
part of the
notes on
news,
the
but
AP
that-
poll. Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
wait till you get the other
It's
ones.
it's pretty
They're
good.
pretty-
Cincy, Arkansas, kind of
solid game.
solid game.
Solid.
Arkansas won by 7.
I think Arkansas or Cincy proved to me that they're more retooled than I thought. Like, to me, this was a prove it thing. I didn't think they would win. Obviously, I didn't pick them, but they looked better replacing Ritter.
Best part to come
and
out of this
all
game
that
was
than I thought.
John Daly sitting there saying,
I'm drunk.
if I'm completely honest, I'm drunk.
Well, I mean, according to my picks, it went exactly how I anticipated. I didn't see any of that game. I couldn't tell you what the final score
Yeah.
was, but I guess I did see that Arkansas won, but I didn't even see the final score. So
What was
And-
the final score? 20.
It
20
was
had to be at least they had
28 to
to have at least 30 to get over 51.5.
yeah. I'll
If
pull,
they-
it-
if
I'll
they
pull it up
cover.
while you go to the other one. 'cause
okay. And then the next two are fun games to talk about. A couple of the more fun games this weekend. Florida
Florida, baby.
Florida versus Utah. 29-26. Speaking of speaking of great plays by a quarterback, there was one, Anthony Richardson, in the red zone, eats something straight to the chest, spins off of it, makes a running throw, boom.
I do need to
Touchdown.
ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
On that fake jump throw,
Mm-hmm.
has that ever crossed your brain to do?
Only in, I mean, yes and no. Like that specifically, no. But like the in the moment, how can I best
Get out of this.
get the ball to
yeah.
a spot? Yes. Like, some guys will pump fake when they're 5 yards down the field.
Which
It's
works.
I did
and
it all the
don't-
time.
As a defender, I don't understand. he can't throw it.
right. But like, do you know
Yes.
for sure?
Absolutely.
Like,
do
you know exactly when he's across the line of scrimmage?
Yes.
I don't think you do.
Not
I think
like the
you
exact
want
moment.
to believe that you do. That's what I'm saying, though, is that like it's crush him. Oh, he pump faked. Oh, he's behind. He's not. And then I realize, but like that's all they need is just that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're that where you're at, if a quarterback starts to actually throw the ball, you have time to, after ball is thrown,
Right.
to actually hit the ball because you're so right on top of them.
Right.
But everyone falls for the fake.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, that kills me. I watched that and I was like, why are you? That happened twice this weekend.
But like the diving, like you'll see, like as quarterbacks are going down there, like I mean, Mahomes is obviously the
That's
number. That's a different level because
Yeah.
one, he does practice those types of things, but like for the most part, it's literally natural reaction of like if I'm playing in the backyard and my buddy hits me and I'm trying to sidearm sling or like jump over a guy that's standing on the ground, whatever it may be. Like, it's just your reaction to get. Now you're putting yourself most of the time in very vulnerable positions is the biggest problem with it.
But that was.
But yeah, no,
that was
sick.
Sweet.
Yeah, 100%.
Sweet. It was on a 2-point conversion of all things. Like, it was just one of those. By the way, Arkansas Cincy was 31-24.
There you go.
Yep.
I knew it was a 7-point game. I just didn't know
Florida,
exactly.
Utah. Florida finally has a quarterback. I feel like that's the difference.
But he played last year.
Right, but I'm saying like
he made a lot of mistakes.
He made a jump though.
So far,
playmaking jump.
He
he also climbed the highest in Heisman favorite. Like he was 60-1. He's down to like just under 20-1 now.
Wow.
So he made the biggest leap over the weekend as far as
their team also made the biggest leap in the standings.
He's in the SEC because if Florida keeps winning, he's in the SEC. His name's going to be there. So he's going to have plenty of chances to continue to grow and also plenty of chances to drop right back down.
26-29, so over 51.5.
And then I think the play that ended the game, Utah in the red zone, inside the 5. Cameron Rising, you got to try and make a play happen, right?
No, not that play.
But
he had time. That was a bad throw.
If you
it
kick
wasn't
a field
an
goal,
awful
you tie
throw.
the game.
It was a terrible throw because, one, you shouldn't have thrown it because you're in field goal range to tie the game. 2, no, don't make that mistake. You had time. Not to mention though
that was an incredible play though.
This crazy play.
Don't disagree with that.
Number 51 for Florida. Had a great drop. He was on the line, dropped out, went right in the blind spot, hit him directly in the hands to end it. And that would have ended it at midfield. So they were playing with house money from midfield.
Yeah, that's true.
So, actually
but that was one of several games this weekend, including the next one that
did well.
A play or two at the end of the game changes the complete complexion of the game.
Yes, so
the result for that matter.
Absolutely.
So our last game that we picked on, West Virginia Pitt. That was a fun game to watch. It was just back and forth the whole time. West Virginia having the way that it ended for me was just like kind of a kick to the knockers. JT Barrett, God dang it.
JT Barrett,
No.
fresh from Ohio State.
That's not JT Barrett.
Yeah.
JT Daniels. I apologize.
Yep.
Not a bad. Hits a guy, not in the chest. Sorry, it was above his head, directly in the hands.
Ball through the hands.
There's no. You didn't make the diamond how you were taught. You didn't make the diamond how you were taught because that ball went straight through your hands.
Hit the defender right in the chest.
I think the ball was still in a spiral.
Correct.
You barely touched that ball, and it was.
Yeah.
There's no reason that should have happened.
Yeah.
Run it back for a touchdown. That's how you lose.
Again, another game that you're
38-31.
Play away from a different outcome.
38-31, and they were up until that point. They're moving the ball. They're moving the ball well. They just ran for 14 yards right before that.
Oh, Pitt didn't have an answer other than them making the mistake, which was just a drop. So
yeah,
West Virginia, I saw a decent amount of the game. They were the more aggressive team. They created more havoc, and they were more consistent for 4 quarters of the game, the parts of the game that I saw than Pitt was. Pitt just found a way.
Sometimes it all matters.
And it was a home game for Pitt. So
it was kind of a mediocre game-esque-ish for both quarterbacks. JT Daniels threw the ball 40 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keaton Slovis transferred from USC, who's gotten worse every single year. He had a decent game.
Yeah.
308 yards and a touchdown. You can't really complain about that. But West Virginia just run the ball.
No.
They had a guy that literally could not be stopped.
Yeah, just run the ball. But on our Goon log, though, boys, did you see the score to the Nevada game? We said, why does it doesn't make sense. Texas State, it was 38-14, Nevada.
Yeah.
No, just
Nevada was the better team. There was no reason
sense.
that should have ever been a line.
Agreed.
I should have put my mortgage on it when Texas State was favored.
Oh, absolutely. But you didn't. It's fine.
I didn't. You're right. That was stupid. It ended up moving back to, I think Nevada was like 1.5 point favorites to start the game.
How many quarterbacks did Nevada play?
No idea.
How many times they pass?
You're the research guy.
No. I'm the question guy. I'm good at asking questions.
And then making us find the answer. Yeah. It's really just addictive.
I'm just your content coordinator.
Content coordinator.
ESPN box score. There it is. Nevada played 2 quarterbacks.
Yep.
They threw the ball 20 times.
Perfect.
13 for 22, 75 yards.
Guys, we're talking about a team that doesn't have a quarterback who had a better QBR than Petrus against the FCS team.
I don't think those stats are right.
No, they were 16 of 20 for 144 yards.
I'm on CBS Sports. It did not give you right stuff. I move on.
Drake led.
Went down and marched down the throat of the number 1 team in the FCS.
And led 7-0.
And then 7-0. And
then it was 56-7.
And then we scored again.
And then it was 56-14.
We scored more points
than the Hawkeyes.
I'm just saying.
And they scored 2 more offensive touchdowns.
Yes.
Than the Hawkeyes.
Drake could beat Iowa.
There
we go.
Ipso facto.
Mark it. However, watching the offense, they looked better than I anticipated.
Yeah,
obviously gets the number 1 team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good things. Special teams is usually where you see issues, and I'm pretty sure I think it was like 20. It was at least 21 points directly from special teams.
Yeah,
like 2 in a row. We got a field goal blocked and
I feel
a punt
like
return.
that's just like when you get out athleted and out, like that's why Iowa won against South Dakota State because of special teams and defense. Like
Correct.
That's usually like when the offense for whatever reason can't find it, those two come to fruition.
I think arguably the most fun finish of the weekend, 63-61 UNC.
Are we hitting on now?
No. We got highlights. We have a whole
highlights later.
Remember, we have a whole poll for that.
After these messages.
Welcome. Our fireside chat. This one's gonna be hot. A couple of topics will be overall trust in a relationship between your planner and yourself.
It's our job to figure out what's in the best interest for you.
We have to start this thing early.
How do I play this game patient enough to see this trade turn to fruition?
Real estate in general can have a lot of tax benefits to you.
Listen and subscribe to the No BS Wealth podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's time.